Hello and welcome to How About You, a friendly podcast about just getting along. I am one half of the dynamic duo, Drew.
And Griffin.
And I am the shuffling sniffleness. How about yourself?
I am a writer, mostly known for my Facebook status updates.
Classic Griffin.
That was well received. Awesome.
So how are you doing this week?
Pretty good. I understand you just texted me that you were sick. I've been getting over a virus myself. Seem to be on the upswing. A doctor gave me an inhaler and a nasal inhaler, and I gotta see, that thing is like crack. I am just feeling great.
Nice. Yeah, I started with a cough on Sunday, and then it developed into dripping congestion grossness yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Similar thing for me. So I don't know if I gave it to you over the Skype call.
I think so.
But I recovered enough that I'm now treating myself to some nice soda. What I have in my hand right now is a nice Virgil's Zero cream soda. You'll swear it's made in heaven. That's what the bottle says.
I'm rocking the Reason for the season. Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Ooh, interesting.
Tastes like a margarita minus all the good parts of margarita.
What are the good parts of a margarita?
Tequila.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. Did I mention that when I was in Chicago last, I went to a BYOB margarita bar?
Yeah.
That's, I guess, my main point of reference for margaritas. This cream soda, it has 0 calories and no real sugar, but is stevia sweetened, which I thought was appropriate for something for. I'll explain that in a few minutes. But more importantly, joining us this week is the punk rock troubadour, the Superman-y lucha libre, and enthusiastic fan of life, and personal friend of mine, Graham F. Crackers.
Hello.
Hey, Graham.
Hi. I really wanted to jump in on that soda thing, but now I forgot what I was going to say. But I am currently drinking a beer.
Very, very good. Wise choice.
If I wasn't sick, I would probably be drinking a beer.
What kind of beer?
I am drinking a 24-ounce can of Coors.
Nice.
Not Coors Light.
You're not fucking around.
No, the real shit. None of this silver bullet stuff.
My brother, he used to live in Boulder, Colorado, and he worked in, I believe, Golden, Colorado, where the Coors plant is, and he made a lot of bottles there.
Oh, before we get deeper, am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah, by all means.
Oh, okay. I just want to double check.
We're not a family podcast.
All right, good. Well, I don't know. Family stuff is good. Anyway, keep going.
So, Graham, like I said, you are a Superman-y lucha libre, and we've known each other since I was in high school. So probably, let's say 7-8 years.
Yeah, I think it's about that.
We met each other on the Mitch Clem forum.
Yep.
A internet web forum dedicated to the punk rock cartoonist Mitch Clem.
We were Clementines.
I'm sorry to say, I'm not cool enough to know Mitch Clem.
He's definitely in a niche.
Super niche, yeah. Online comics about punk rock. There's like 2 of them. That are any good. I mean, there's a lot of them, but...
All right,
I'd have to say... Yeah,
go
ahead.
I was just going to say, so elevator pitch me on Mitch Clem.
Well, I mean, he started off with the, very basic kind of comics, like putting the pun in punk.
3-panel.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Characters.
Bim, bam, boom.
It's called Nothing Nice to Say.
Oh yeah, I guess we should mention that. Although he doesn't have a website at the moment, so what you'll find is basically Google results on various blogs. But he's pretty well represented.
He's got books out too, I think.
Books as well through, I believe, Silver Sprocket.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff, and I think he's still publishing comics for other people's comics, with As You Were. But he was a pretty good cartoonist. Started off okay, got to be really good, I think.
Then he started doing covers for bands.
Oh, that's true too.
Covers, and he does this really cool thing. I forget what it's called. You probably remember it, but he does 7 inches. He does the cover, and then he'll do a comic about the band.
Oh.
7-inch.
I never got the comic.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, well, he did a lot of 7 inches before that, but this is like a series. He did, I think, The Slow Death and Lemuria.
Was it Art of the Underground?
No, it wasn't that one.
Okay. But yeah, he did a lot of good covers. He also did one comic series that was my absolute favorite, which was it's called Kittens. and it's just 3-panel comics of like a kitten playing with a ball of yarn or sniffing a flower. And it's just absolutely simple. It was a very short run, but it was, cute little thing, little beautiful slice of life.
It was nice from his normal sarcastic and defeated persona that he wrote for. He usually writes from.
Very defeated.
Very defeated.
Yeah, the main nature of his forum was we would all talk about TV or music or whatever, and then Mitch would post a new comic, and then we'd talk about how much it sucked. And pretty much pretty awful to him. Obviously, some people more than others.
A lot of people were being, sarcastic about that too.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people found it at a time. There were a lot of members, and there was a core group of members that all got along and understood each other's humor. And then people would come in. We actually got raided a couple times.
Did we? I honestly don't remember that.
Yeah, one of Diana's friends. Anyway, it's a long time.
Oh, I think I kind of remember that. Okay. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of the Mitch Klum was an AIM chat room, and then
I never really did that.
There was Stickam, where we would all be in a webcam group.
I did that a few times.
You did that, and then Joe Briggs, a punk writer from England, he came and visited you once, and then he was on your couch, and we just he was sleeping on your couch, and we just kind of stared at him and talked about him for a while.
Yep.
Okay, so I am kind of familiar with this guy then. He did cover up for Lemuria. Okay.
Yes.
I love them. They're great.
He did the last Ergs 7-inch too.
I don't know that.
That's a claim to fame. Oh, you're missing out.
Check them out, yeah.
They haven't been around for a while. They ended in 2007, I believe. But they're a great pop punk band.
Yeah, one of the greatest and short-lived.
Absolutely. I'm trying to find a cover of his. It's not coming up. It was for a lesser-known punk band, but the cover was a Burger Viking. And it was just one of the greatest, I think, covers.
It was
Houseboat.
It's a good album.
Anyway, okay. So that's a great cover. Yeah, you're, so I think at the time that we were first met, you were still living in Vermont, and you were in charge of, I think, a summer camp type thing?
A summer camp and an after-school program, yeah. Okay. I started out doing AmeriCorps there. Well, first I was hired, part-time.
Sure.
Then I did an AmeriCorps thing for I think I actually did, no, I did 2 years. And then they just put me in charge of both of them. And it was 50 kids a day sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I got to design games. And then the more the more responsibility I got, the less time I actually had to like play the games and hang out with the kids and stuff. And then I was just calling parents for money, and that sucked. And that's around the time when I moved to Brooklyn to be with my wife. So
now, you guys got married after you moved to Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay. But it was for a while a distance relationship.
Yeah, we've been together almost 10 years. Yeah, a little over 10 years. And we got married at about not 2 years.
2 years ago? Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2 years ago. And then, I've been here in Brooklyn ever since, taking care of famous people's kids or animals.
Manny to the rich and famous.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about you that I've told stories of to other people that I've met is that you guys eloped to Las Vegas to get married in your pajamas.
Yes, that is true. We were planning on going out to Vegas to see one of our mutual friends. And then we planned it around punk rock bowling. And then we were just like, before we went out there, we were like, why don't we just get married out there and then have a party when we get back? Because I didn't have insurance, and she had insurance through her job. So through paperwork, I would get insurance. So we were just like, fuck it, let's do that. So yeah, because we knew we'd dress up and get she'd get a real dress and I'd wear a real suit for an actual wedding with our whole family and stuff. But we were like, I don't know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother.
Briefly.
What's his name? Neil Patrick Harris always wore a suit.
Yep.
And
right.
Even his pajamas were a suit. Like with the tie and everything.
Right.
So I got that for the Vegas wedding.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, we got married in the back of a pink Cadillac, and it was the same drive-through that was filmed for a WWF segment where Triple H drugged Stephanie McMahon and married her without her knowledge. It was pretty great. So
I gotta say, as far as, Las Vegas bang bang weddings go, I think you went about it the classiest way possible.
And then we spent the rest of the time drinking and going to punk shows. It was amazing.
Does Las Vegas have a big punk scene?
During punk rock bowling, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw actually Laura Jane Grace.
Awesome.
Right after she came out as a woman. We saw NoFX play Punk in Drublic. We saw Riverboat Gamblers, which was one of my favorites. And that, every night there was something crazy. It was wonderful.
I never got into Riverboat Gamblers, but they are one of my favorite punk rock band names.
They are one of my favorite bands, yeah.
I'm driving up to Chicago again this weekend. Maybe I'll grab an album and listen to it.
Yeah, I like Underneath the Owl, actually, a lot.
Okay.
That's the one that really sold me on them. But everything they I had a couple of their records before that, but when I got that album, I was like, oh, this band fucking rules. So, and then I got to see them. It was pretty magical.
It sounds like it. And then at the end of everything, you got to go home to your wife.
Yeah.
So that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you got insurance.
Yep.
All right. So that brings us. Since I knew you were going to be on the show this week, I couldn't think of a better topic for you, and I couldn't think of a better person to talk about it with. The topic for this week's episode is TV.
It's like my favorite thing.
Absolutely.
I've got one tattooed on my leg.
You do. And then another thing about you is you have what I describe, or I don't know if I was the first one to describe it, but you had a band that's described as Vermont Television Punk.
Yep, VPTV.
The band Fancy Pants and the Cell Phones, which is a great band that, everyone's clamoring for the revival.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but thank you. That's awesome.
So TV, guys. It's a great medium. I don't think any of us can get through our daily lives without it.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I do all day. Because usually, lately, I've been unemployed.
Oh.
Because all of my charges, parents decided to move upstate or to Atlanta or Tennessee, and it's hard to sell a almost 40-year-old dude with a giant beard to take care of your kids. But
have you tried billing yourself as Santa Claus 365 24/7?
No, I did try the Rambo of babysitting.
How's that going out?
It actually worked once, and I got a really long job, like a 3-4 year job out of it.
Oh, that's good.
It was right when I moved here. I was taking care of twins, a girl and a boy. And they were like 9 or 10 at the time. But yeah, so sorry, that was a little off subject. But yeah.
No, by all means. So if you're watching TV for most of the day, are there particular channels that you stick with, or you just try and get like a full kind of switching channels, try to get everything that's happening, the big things?
So all right, so I'll give you a rundown of a typical unemployed day. I'll wake up usually pretty early, like around when Molly goes to work, which is around 8:30, and I'll watch a few whatever I've seen before while I wake up, like Arrested Development, something on Netflix. I did Futurama this morning. Then I'll do chores, I'll go shopping or whatever, get some food, and I'll come back. Usually around then the Talk is on, and for some reason I have a weird obsession with the Talk.
That's an interesting show.
Well, it's better than The View, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, I've seen it more than The View, so I'm inclined to say it's better. But also, It just has an insane panel.
Yeah, it's got Aisha Tyler, who's amazing. She's a great comic. She's on Archer.
Yeah.
Back to TV. I guess we're still on TV. It's got Clark? What's the girl from Roseanne? Sarah Clark? No, that's the girl from Scrubs. Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah, there you go. I just said it. Yeah, Gilbert.
And the only other one that I really know is Sharon Osbourne, and I'm not a fan of her.
I'm not a fan of her, but I like her being there just for the ambiance, I guess.
It's true. No, I mean, it doesn't stop me from watching the show.
She does add a certain something.
And then Julie Chen, or Chenbot, because she's so robotic.
I don't think she's been on it since I've watched it last. Or
really? She's like the main guy. She's like the Barbara Walters.
Is she?
Yeah.
Maybe I just tuned her out, and I was just.
It's really easy because she's very robotic and boring.
Because I was just kind of stunned by the collection of Aisha Tyler, Sarah Gilbert, and Sharon Osbourne.
Yeah.
TV show together.
All right, so when is this on? I have never seen any of this. All right,
it's daytime television.
Okay.
Yeah.
It hasn't been added to Netflix yet, so probably not in your wheelhouse. I'm guessing.
Not quite my wheelhouse.
But Julie Chen also is the host of one of my favorite reality shows, Big Brother. So I give her a little credit for that.
I don't think I've ever actually watched a reality show where it's like a competition to be the best person on that show, I guess.
That's kind of half of what I watch is competition reality shows.
Okay, I guess that tends to fill things up there. So what's the other half of your TV diet?
Oh, so after that, I used to go to Friends. Because most of this time, I'm actually not really paying attention to the TV. I'm
sure.
Like doing email, looking for a job, or just posting on Facebook. Usually Facebook. So they had a episode Friends Marathon up until Family Feud started. Then I'd watch that. And then...
Is this Steve Harvey Family Feud?
Yes.
Okay, so going back to someone who doesn't give a shit, every time I watch him on Family Feud, it looks like he's just absolutely coasting.
Oh, he is phoning that shit in so hard.
But he's pretty funny, actually. Like, if you I don't know. He's very good at it. I think he's the best host since Richard Dawson.
That's a tall order.
Well, not really. Have you seen who was between him?
Well, I mean, when you put in between him, but I mean, just comparing him to Richard Dawson.
No, Dawson will always be the king. He's the best since.
Yeah, I think every time I've seen a YouTube clip compilation of great unscripted game show moments, it's like 90% Richard Dawson.
Yeah. Yeah, from Match Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was a classic.
My stepdad calls him Mr. Herpes because he kisses every single girl on every show he's ever been on.
Yeah, that was a different time. That was one of the perks back then.
I know. You could just kiss girls whenever. if you were famous.
Well, if you're famous now, you probably could get away with it somewhat.
I don't know with all these bloggers.
I just saw a GIF or a GIF on Tumblr. It was Chris Evans, I think, and it was like the caption was he's drunk, and then he's saying, "I love to fuck girls in the ass." So I don't know. I mean, obviously it wasn't a video, so I didn't hear him say it, but he's going around saying that apparently.
Yeah, maybe. But that dude is actually, he's on Doug Loves Movies all the time. Not all the time. He's been on like twice.
I remember one he was very drunk on.
Yes.
So.
And I think he seems like actually he's probably pretty charming, and a lot of it's just, juvenile jokes.
Yeah.
Like they just got in trouble for calling Black Widow a slut.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, that's weird. Like, come on, like, she's a fictional character. They didn't call Scarlett Johansson a slut, but they both had to issue apologies and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
The internet's weird. That's why my allegiance will always be to television.
Well, HBO just came out with their online service, so TV might be going away quicker than later.
Yeah, but I have every channel except Cinemax. And that actually still pisses me off, because that doesn't even make sense. Like, how much more could it be? And apparently Banshee is like one of the greatest shows on television.
Oh, is that
so
on
that's
Cinemax?
a show that I'm missing.
Is that on Cinemax?
Yeah. There's nothing else on Cinemax I care to see.
I watched, I think, most of the first season of Banshee. Very interesting show. And apparently they're keeping up with that. I should catch up with that at some point and see where they've gone with it. But it starts off with I don't remember if he's an escaped, but a convict gets out of jail. And he goes to a town to, catch up with his past and whatnot, settle scores with his final job and the whole kit and caboodle. And events conspire so that now he's presenting himself as the new sheriff that no one knows, and so he's trying to be the law and order, but also try and get what he wants to going on. And then also there is a ex Amish-ish kind of thing gang boss who knows Wing Chun, martial arts, and is absolutely terrifying.
And this is Banshee?
Yeah.
That is not even close to what I thought it was about. Because I know nothing about. I just know my friend is just like, "Are you watching Banshee?" I'm like, "No, I don't get that channel." He's like, "Download it." I'm like, "I don't even know how to do that. I don't have a computer."
It's really like just like all the parts to it are like. It's like I don't know, like a whatchamacallit, where you put the things together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, and they're all different parts, but they put it together, and it's interesting. There's a lot of sex, and there's a lot of great fight scenes. So I
heard it's super violent.
It is.
I like that.
I heard people talking about a recent fight scene, and I was like, oh, let's see what's going on. I haven't watched Banshee in a couple seasons, and I checked out a YouTube clip of it. It's insane. The fight scene they just had in the recent third season, I think. So yeah, if you get a chance, I would check that out.
I've got a lot. Like, I've only seen 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, and I have HBO. Yeah.
Are you not a fan?
No, I really liked it.
Got a lot going on.
So much stuff. Like, and a lot of it's filled up with like Redneck Island and Party Down South and Big Brother and Survivor. We're in the middle of Survivor right now, and this is a fun season.
Well, hold on, Redneck Island?
Yeah, it's hosted by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow.
Nice.
And it's a competition. It's a lot like Survivor, but they're rednecks on an island. This time they were actually on a beautiful lake in this beautiful lake house. But it's it's fun. I mean, we just we like that mindless stuff as much as we like like Daredevil. Like, Molly's super into Daredevil, just like me, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and The Wire is one of our favorite. Like, we also like good stuff.
Sure, by all means, yeah. Hey, have you watched Daredevil?
I have not watched Daredevil yet.
We're like 3 episodes in. It's awesome.
I just finished it for a second time.
Second time?
Well, the first time I was kind of watching it in the background, and I was going about my business or reading comics or doing other stuff, and kind of like half watching it. And I enjoyed it, but like I got to the end, it was like, and I finished, and Netflix is like, "What do you think of this? How many stars would you give it?" I'm like, I'm not really sure. So I gave it another spin, and
you care about Netflix's.
Well, I just.
What Netflix?
I don't know, Netflix. Let me give it another shot, and I'll get back to you.
They posed me the question, and
you got nervous. You're like, "Oh no, I don't have an answer."
I thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta either pay more attention to stuff or stop giving a shit." Especially, it seems like lately, like what you rate things has nothing to do with what Netflix recommends you.
That's true. I don't even pay attention to the recommendations.
But I mean, they used to be pretty good. Like, oh wow, this is really cool. I've never heard of this. It's from a country I never even heard of. But yeah, I'll check this out. And oh wow, this is a really good movie. But lately, it's like, here, you gave this movie 5 stars. Here's a movie that we think you'll rate 2.5 stars. Check it out. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Mine is a bit skewed right now because I watch a lot of cooking competition shows. So it
we
throws
do that too.
Every single goddamn kitchen competition show is now on my Netflix. So I mean, I watch Chopped. I like Chopped. That's my jam right there.
Chopped is great. Me and my wife Molly, we actually play Chopped. Like I'll just go to the store and buy like a bunch of random ingredients.
Nice. And see what she can do with it, and vice versa. And she's really good at it. I just throw everything into the slow cooker. She actually like pays attention and stuff. Like, she's very good.
That's a good idea. I'll have to steal that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I sit there with my girlfriend.
We watch Hell's Kitchen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I sit there with my girlfriend and we watch Chopped, eating cheesy tater tots, and bitch at the screen like, what the fuck are you doing? Fry the foie gras and the goat's tears. What are you doing? Like, stop dicking around.
The closest I've come to that was the Chris Gethard Show has a yearly sandwich night holiday that they celebrate the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And it's just, get all your friends together, get some slices of bread and whatever ingredients, and have yourself a good time. So my version of that on a one-person level was I went to the grocery store by my house and I bought one ingredient from every aisle of the grocery store and I put that on my sandwich. And it was a pretty good sandwich. It would have been a great sandwich if it wasn't for the stuff like chocolate-covered pretzels or ranch dressing.
The acetone?
The dressing really killed it, I gotta say. That the dressing, I think, is the single worst ingredient on that.
That's probably fair.
But I also had an Asiago cheese bun, some really good roast beef. So, I mean, otherwise, it would have been a good sandwich. But still, it was an experiment. It was interesting. It's a story to tell.
Yeah. You put together a disgusting sandwich.
Yeah. Hey, I'm shitty at making sandwiches. Want to come home with me? But yeah, I've been getting the cooking shows lately. The show that I've been obsessed with lately has been Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares.
I have seen that on Tumblr. Holy crap. You're posting all kinds of Gordon Ramsay chest.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Master Chef Junior is my favorite one out of all the cooking shows.
Out of the reality shows I've seen, the kid ones are better. Yeah. Or at least to me. I think there's a lot less bullshit and like, oh, that kid's going to grow up to be a wonderful person, and I don't have to, look at the piece of shit that they do become.
Exactly. And there's usually a lot of adorable kids, and he doesn't yell. Yeah,
that's the thing is, like, I mean, he gets a reputation on the American Kitchen Nightmares for being a yeller. But I watched, Netflix has, I think, seasons 3, 4, or maybe 5. So I watched the 3rd season, and, like, he does yell, and, like, they do all they can to be like, coming up next at the commercial break, he's gonna yell. And then at the commercial break, look, he's about to yell, he's yelling, he just yelled. And just all that just because I guess that's what, gets in the news and sells. But, like, even watching it, like, even when people are, like, screaming at him, like, you're a fucking asshole. And, like, he's very calmly, like, taking it, like, look, I'm not trying to insult you as a person. I'm saying this because of things of how you cook and how you run your business. And like, he's just rough around the edges. So even in the American show, you can see that. But I heard people saying a lot that the British show was a lot better. So
it is.
I waved my magic wand. I got a hold of the entire run of the British show, and I started checking it out. And it's like, it's much calmer. He comes off as so much more as like he's very personable. Like he's like there fully for everyone to either pat them on the back or kick them in the ass, whatever they need. But one thing that I found really interesting is that, like, very consistently in every episode of the British Kitchen Nightmares is they show him taking off his shirt to change into his chef garments. And it's like, you're the British highbrow, supposed to be better than the American. Why are you using this sex symbol that the American version has just tossed aside completely?
Because our shirtless Americans look better. Like, he looks great shirtless for a British guy.
What kind of British guys are you looking at?
I don't know.
Like, I'm sure Idris Elba, Michael Fassbender, they look pretty good shirtless.
Have you ever seen Idris shirtless?
Possibly on The Wire. I can't remember, though.
I don't know. It might be. Yeah, but he was probably, he was young then.
That's true. I looked up recently the ages of people on The Wire, and, like, it's insane to think of how young they were at that time. Like Omar, Michael K. Williams, he was, like, in his mid-20s. Like, I'm almost as old as Omar was in that movie, shooting at drug dealers, stealing their drugs and their money.
Yeah.
Getting away with it scot clean and getting a pat on the back from the cops. And, hear the...
So wait, okay, can we talk about The Wire for a second?
Sure. Drew, have you seen The Wire?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all familiar with The Wire. I've watched it several times, and I own the box set.
As do I.
I only ever watched it once, but
the entire season, show.
Yes.
Or one episode.
I've seen the entire show once.
Okay. HBO just did an HD release, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't care. I have the box set. I'm not gonna. If I own something and I have a lot of DVDs, also I'm not gonna watch it on TV.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fair. For me, it had been like enough of time since I had last watched The Wire. I was like, sure, I'll watch The Wire, and might as well watch an HD since I have HBO Go. And like there wasn't like a lot of times I didn't notice anything, but there were shots like that you would notice that were like definitely different from the last 5-6 times that I had watched it.
Right.
So it would be interesting just to see like this slight differences, I think.
So what was your favorite season?
Probably season 2.
That's mine too. And that is not a normal answer.
Is it? I feel like at least in our circle, everyone that I've talked to about it loves season 2.
See, 3 is the like universally loved one.
I think it's like
2 was such a jump, and it was so jarring, and it was so like, wait, what is going on with this show? That I was like, and I loved the fucking doc guys. Like, they were so just awful, and it was great.
I love the main doc guy, Frank Sabaka. He just did a wonderful job on that, and then I had seen him before on, I forget what it was called, but it was a gambling show on, not on FX. Anyway, I think a basic cable show that with Michael Madsen in Las Vegas, and like
I think it was called Las Vegas.
Maybe, but it was something like that. And he did it pretty okay on that, and then the show was canceled. And then I saw people were talking about The Wire, and I checked out. I was like, oh, hey, I know that guy, Chris Bauer, the actor. And then everything else I've seen him in, he doesn't do bad, but it's shitty roles. Like his role on True Blood was just bumbling idiot basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying about The Wire.
Oh, just that I want to know what you guys thought and what your favorite season was, and you answered that.
Yeah. Yeah. Season 2.
You guys are interviewing me. I don't know.
Well, you can turn the tables on us.
All right.
There's no rules.
What's your favorite show of all time?
It's funny you should ask that. That is.
Do you need a minute to think about it, or because I got my answer, I'm done.
Go for it.
It's X-Files, 100% X-Files.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so how do you feel about them bringing it back?
I am super stoked about it coming back.
You think they'll pull it off?
Probably not, but I'm super stoked for it.
That's a good attitude. Did you like the movies?
I did. I liked both movies, yeah.
Which one did you like better?
The new one.
Yeah, I heard the second one was better.
Yeah, it could look.
I saw some of it, in and out while it was on air, and then I watched the first movie, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with the first movie.
Fell off.
Yeah, the first movie is all the worst episodes of X-Files. The second movie is all the fun ones, the Monster of the Week ones.
Okay, cool.
Anything that has to do with storyline is kind of weak, because the storyline doesn't really go anywhere. But all the, random monsters and shit, week to week, that was a lot of fun. And that's where, all the writers looked like they had more fun.
Yeah, I've never seen the X-Files, honestly.
Really?
There's a lot of, crazy actors that became big that are in episodes. I think Jack Black was in one.
Yeah, really? He sure was.
Luke Wilson. All before they were, big names.
The Fat Pack.
Yeah. Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah.
Some other guys.
I have an aunt who was super into it, and she was also super into The Lone Gunman. She probably still has merchandise, but that might be part of why I didn't watch it, but I just never got into it. But now's a chance,
so,
I guess.
Actually, I wanted to say this to Drew. So, you picked a sci-fi fantasy sort of show as your favorite. What if you broke it down to different genres, like sitcom, animated, cop show? Would you have other answers?
If we broke it down by genre, yeah.
Yes, because that's how I do it. I can't pick a favorite.
Well, that's my thing. I don't like this question.
That's why I did it.
Well, because majority of the time, like I've been asked it, it's been in an acting workshop or an improv class, and like as part of like a icebreaker type thing, and it's really hard question to answer in that situation because, I mean, sure you have a favorite show, but when you're like me or us, like it's not necessarily a show that anyone's ever heard about, or that is gonna like endear you to this group of people. At the time, I had just watched the canceled FX series Terriers, starring Donald Logue.
And the other dude from his sitcom, Grounded for Life.
I just had his name. I'm blanking on it.
Right? Isn't that the same? It's the same dude from that show, right?
He has like a hyphenated name.
I love Donald Logue.
He was in.
Excited that Netflix has Grounded for Life now.
Yeah, I watched the shit out of that when it came on Netflix.
Yeah, that show is so good.
Yeah.
Like way before its time, too.
Absolutely.
Michael Raymond James. He was also in Jack Reacher.
All right.
Is it the same dude from Terriers and?
I'm not on his Wikipedia page. I'm not sure. But it was just a really good Donald Logue, great actor, and then it was just really well scripted and interesting, and like I probably possibly either finished it either the night before or that day. So I was like, yeah, this is probably my favorite show right now. And like, then as soon as someone said, hey, okay, we're gonna go around the circle, we're gonna talk about what's your favorite show, and like I got in my head like, I can say this, no one's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Crickets, man.
So I think I went with The Wire at that time because I figured it was a safe bet of being like really a great show that I really love, even if it's not the one I absolutely love the most. And people will at least know that they should know what The Wire is. They'll know it's something that people don't shut up about, but that you should have seen on TV.
Yeah. I think The Wire might technically be the best show of all time in that 1 hour drama style. Breaking Bad might have beat it.
Just real quick, I want to mention Breaking Bad is why I mentioned my stevia-infused beverage. Because in later seasons, one of the characters was very obsessed with stevia.
Oh.
No, all right.
Lydia.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Spoiler alert.
Well, all right then.
Well, I've seen it all.
Okay.
But out of those types of shows, like cop or drama, 1 hour shows, The Shield is my favorite of all time.
That's a good one.
All right, yeah.
I agree with you in that I think The Wire is the best as far as
technically and everything.
I think it's one that's worth thinking the most about.
The Shield is more emotional, man.
The Shield was absolutely more emotional.
When they killed Lem, man, that broke me.
Yeah, that was a breaking point, and then they kept going so much further than that.
Yeah, but that was like Lem was like,
yeah,
he was my guy.
Yeah.
And I met him. I think I told you, and you've probably seen pictures.
He seems like a great guy.
He actually grew up in the same town as I did.
Oh, wow.
And we had not the Vegas wedding, but the Vermont on my farm party celebration of our marriage, whatever you want to call it,
sure.
Where our whole family came. He was staying at the same hotel for the whole weekend.
Wow.
Me and Molly. So we would see him every day. And he had brought his family there, like, to just show them, like, where he grew up and stuff. I was like, you grew up here? He was just a few years older than me.
Interesting.
And I didn't know that at all. Kenny Johnson, he's on Bates Motel right now, killing it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's great.
I watched a couple episodes of that. That might be a reason to watch the rest of it.
It's really good. And his character, holy shit.
Ooh.
But
yeah,
I saw him one day, and he was wearing a Sons of Anarchy shirt.
Yeah, he was in there
on that show, and I was like, Kenny. Like, I walked by him, he was checking in, and we were going to our room, and then I was like, that dude was wearing a Sons of Anarchy, and it looked just like Kenny Johnson. I have to go check. And I didn't know, actually, I forgot his name was Kenny Johnson. I was just like, that's Lemensky. And so I stuck my head back around the corner. I was like, holy shit, that's him. And I lost my mind, and I went up. And I was like, dude, when you got killed on the Shield, I cried, like, for days. And he was like, oh, man, that's weird, but cool. And my wife came up, and she was like, no, it's true. He just rewatched it, and he still cried like crazy. And so that's my Lem story. And he fucking grew up in the same town as me. I had no idea.
Did you go to the same school or anything?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild.
He was like, I think, 4 years ahead of me or something.
Okay, so that's a good enough, span that you wouldn't have met him really.
Right. We didn't roll in the same circles. I think he was a football player too, and I was like a long-haired skater.
Yeah, I remember looking up that he, I guess it does a lot of like strength competitions, stuff like that, or used to maybe.
I didn't know that, but that's I don't know. He was super cool, and every time he'd see us, like he would come up by the end of the weekend. He would like come up to us and be like, "Hey, how you guys doing?"
Oh,
no,
yeah,
what a sweetheart.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I agree full-heartedly about how emotional that series is.
And an excellent season finale.
Yeah, that ending is just like a kick in the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching. I watched The Shield. I was getting it from a video rental store just probably 4 years ago. So recent enough that there was no reason I should have been doing that like that, and probably throwing away money on it. But I would like rent a season at a time, and then I would go as soon as I could to watch the whole thing, and then watch the next one. And I wasn't sleeping in my mom's basement yet. I was sleeping on a futon on the ground floor, so it was just before this. So I wasn't in a great place, and so I was like, everything that show put you through, I was feeling it, and that's
And it gave us Walton Goggins.
It did.
Who was I don't watch Justified, although I'm going to fix that because I know that I'm sure that's amazing. That's all I've heard. But he's the Venus in Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
Yeah, just incredible.
He was a racist guy in Django Unchained.
Yeah, he was one of the dudes in Predators.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And I think in that he had a Jawbreaker tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, there's it's something like that. Some weird, obscure punk band he has a tattoo of in that movie.
I don't remember that.
But anyway, so mine is The Shield. Drew, what's yours? Favorite drama cop type thing?
Drama cop type thing? I have spent an obscene amount of time watching Law and Order. It's not as good as The Shield, but it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling every time it's on.
That's fair enough.
That's
you don't have to go by like if it's better, like it's what you feel.
Right.
And yeah, that's how I feel about cartoons.
What's your ruling on cartoons?
Well, it's The Simpsons, and I know that there's more solid shows at this point. Although I still think these later seasons have been great, but everybody seems to hate The Simpsons now. That's given me more
happiness throughout my life. The Simpsons, since high school, you know. Like,
also, are you not from a Springfield?
I am from the Springfield. We had the premiere a week before the Hollywood premiere because we won an online challenge by having the best video. The entire cast, Cameron Diaz and Bruce Springsteen they went to the bowling alley.
Wow.
Every single place was selling Krusty Burgers. Ben & Jerry's came out with like dough nut flavored ice cream for the day. Like, it was a huge thing. Our town, like, it's a town of less than 10,000 people, I think, tripled that day for the premiere. Like, it was insane.
So was this competition just between towns named Springfield?
Yes, and they didn't even ask ours. Like, they asked a bunch of, you know, like Springfield, Illinois,
wow.
Springfield, Mass, a bunch of, like, the more famous Springfields. And our mayor or whatever, somebody wrote them and was like, why can't we? And they were like, fine, whatever. Do whatever, Vermont. And we got the most votes online. We sent in a video with a donut chasing the mayor down the street through Main Street. And we have a prison. We're near a nuclear power plant. We have everything that Springfield Simpsons does, and we won. We beat Illinois. Springfield, Illinois had the second most, and we barely beat them, I think.
Take that, Illinois.
Yeah.
That's a great
Chicago, my ass.
That's a great underdog story.
Yeah, and so it was this wonderful day. Like, everybody just went down to Main Street and near the theater, and just it was amazing. So, yeah. So, The Simpsons, I have Milhouse tattooed on, like, my inner thigh. I plan on getting the Hellfish tattoo. You know, that show's probably meant more to me and brought, like, when I was depressed, anytime I was depressed in college or anything, I'd throw in a tape because I taped every single episode. Me and my brother would learn them and just like, go back and forth. So, yeah, definitely Simpsons. But then I have a hard time with sci-fi. It's Buffy. Easily Buffy. Buffy and Angel together.
Yeah, alright. That's fair. Like, there are 2 or 3 Buffy episodes that are the best episodes of everything ever, to be fair.
Of television, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely some good ones.
And Angel was just as good, if not better, at some points.
I would definitely put the later seasons of Angel over the later seasons of Buffy. Buffy peaked in the middle. Angel definitely peaked at the end, I think.
I don't know. That's hard for me. Yeah, I don't want to get too into it because I thought the first, the bad guy for the last season was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked Spike's redemption and everything. Like, I don't know. That's tough for me. And everybody hates on the 6th season. I hated, what was it, the 3rd with Adam?
Yeah.
No, that was Angel. Was the 3rd, right? No.
That was the 2nd, mayor? Wasn't it?
Or was the mayor the 2nd?
I think the mayor was mayor was the 3rd.
Okay.
And then it was Glory.
Glory was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I really liked the trio, and then it goes Bad Willow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they were all like.
Buffy, I think, is one of the shows that I have the most memories of and a lot of connection to, even though I don't necessarily would put it in top 10 or anything like that. But that was what always was on, like, when I would come home after school. And, like, a lot of times I was assuming that it was, like, reruns. But I think a lot of time I was actually watching it as it went on, and I didn't even realize it. So I was kind of, like, more susceptible to, like, the progress of the show and, like, feeling what the cast was feeling as they were going through it and whatnot. Because, like, I was just kind of oblivious to what was going on. I was like, oh, this is just, something to watch in the background. I was like, oh, this is really good. And I would get drawn into it and then, feel as they were going through their emotions in high school, and then I would be going through the same thing in middle school.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, they, I think the best 2, maybe 3 episodes. My favorite is, I can't remember the name, but it's Hush with the gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're some of the best, at least like weekly bad guys. They're the best ones, easily. Because they didn't even need time to develop. You were just terrified of them as soon as they were on screen.
Right.
And then the body, the one when she dies, when there's no music at all through the whole thing, that is
absolutely
so fucking scary. And then I really like the one when they turn into their Halloween costumes.
That was a good one.
And I loved Anya. Like when they took Charisma Carpenter to go to Angel.
Right.
The addition of Anya, I thought she was the funniest thing on the show by far.
Yeah, definitely.
She absolutely had her moments.
Yeah, being terrified of bunnies, amazing.
Did y'all watch Farscape when it was on?
No.
Oh man, because that's some good shit right there. Just get
on. Is that on Netflix?
It goes on and off Netflix every once in a while. It's a space show, space opera kind of thing. But all of the creatures were done by Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Yeah, I remember there were a lot of Muppets.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of really cool Muppets and practical effects. It's really sweet.
Is it more like the Dark Crystal?
It is not quite.
Okay,
I hated that movie.
There's things that look like it somewhat, but
scared the shit out of me.
But it's not. You might get a little bit scared, but most of them are like fuzzy and round, instead of like absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, a lot of it is prosthetics and stuff on just like regular people, so that they look alien. And then there's some stuff that is just cool looking. It's not Dark Crystal, like dark and kind of oppressive, and just like yeah. I feel you on Dark Crystal.
It's never sat well with me.
Gives me the Ghiblies.
Yeah.
Love Labyrinth though, but Dark Crystal never sat right.
Into that, I don't know.
Well, in that one, the scary thing wasn't the Muppets so much as it was David Bowie's crotch.
David Bowie, yeah.
I have never feared David Bowie's crotch. That is a magnificent beast. But
you're one of the few.
I'm sorry if you were intimidated by David Bowie and his sizable crotch, but
and the fact that he juggles balls.
Look, man, sometimes you just gotta juggle some balls. So my question would be like, all right, top 3. What's in your backlog you need to watch?
Peaky Blinders.
The fuck? What is that?
It's this. It's a British show. It's on Netflix.
It's really good.
It's so good.
It's a British show that Netflix has the American distribution rights to.
Okay.
Starring Cillian Murphy.
Who is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
He, dreamy as ever. But now he's a.
Is it Cillian or is it Killian?
I always thought Cillian. Is it Killian? Killian.
It's Killian.
Yeah.
After the liquor, obviously. But
Tom Hardy shows up too.
Yeah, he shows up in the second season.
Oh God! Oh God!
Oh, I forgot. Wait, let me backtrack a little. First season, it's Cillian Murphy versus Sam Neill. On opposite sides of the law.
What?
So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. This is awesome. I'm gonna watch the shit out of it.
It's not getting enough press.
Huh.
It's so good.
I think we're reaching the point where there's just so much good TV that the press can't keep up with keeping everyone informed.
All right, so we got that show. What's your second?
The only one I can think of right now, and this is pretty fucking embarrassing. H2O, just add water.
What is that?
Drew, do you know what that is?
I have no idea.
Okay, so it's an Australian TV show that is based on 3 young teenage girls who get caught in some weird moonlight on an island where they get stranded one night and become mermaids. So now...
What?
It's like a weird attempt at Buffy like style stuff, but none of like they're not like fighting monsters of the week. They're fighting because all right. So if their skin touches water, they instantly turn into a mermaid. Or it takes 10 seconds and then they turn into a mermaid. Just even if they they're in their kitchen and spill water on their hand. Like, they have to dry off within 10 seconds, or they're a mermaid in the kitchen.
That sounds inconvenient.
Yeah, and it's very... I don't know. It's so bad, but I can't stop watching it. It's just... It's I don't know. That's just a weird one. Pretty embarrassing, but the reason I started watching it, I was like, that looks like the most ridiculous show. But now there's like a new Netflix original called Mako Island or something, or Mako Mermaids, and it's like the next generation of H2O, just add water. Oh, and each girl, there's 3 of them.
Wait.
Go ahead.
So now there's another generation. This is turned into Degrassi. With
it's basically a Degrassi with mermaids.
Interesting.
So, and if they ever get water on them, they turn into a mermaid on the spot, basically, within 10 seconds. So one of them can control water, like she can make bubbles or like push water places. One can freeze it and one can boil it. So they have to like come together and like keep their secret. And one of them has like a little brother and sister who's always trying to like figure out what's going on. It's so weird and so dumb and so Australian. But I can't, it's fascinating. Like, it's like Degrassi, yeah.
I'm willing to bet that one of those girls is going to be the next, Russell Crowe or Heath Ledger or...
I don't know. I think this happened like 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. But it's been on Netflix forever, and I keep seeing it. I'm like, what a joke. But then I saw this like new version. I was like, ooh, if it's getting like a second, like a reboot, maybe it's super good. I haven't even gotten through the first season, and it's really tough to get through any episode. Because it's not good, but like it's still interesting. I don't know. And I guess my third would have been Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, but we just finished that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I watch enough TV that at this point, I don't feel like there's anything that I have to watch. Like, I watched the entire West Wing, so I feel like I'm covered as far as, like, TV watching credentials go.
That's fair.
My wife really wants me to watch West Wing. She watches. She loves it. It was one of her favorite shows. She was also the one that got me into The Wire.
John Goodman's on The West Wing at certain points, so it's definitely worth that at least.
Yeah.
Well, I love Martin Sheen.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Just that alone.
But I'm just saying, if there's like... If the general thing of the...
I feel like the general thing why I put that off is basically because it seems like politics that are super out of date.
Not so much.
Yeah, not really so much.
I don't think it's like the daily topics or the episode to episode like monster of the week that's dated so much as like.
I mean, we're still dealing with a lot of the issues on West Wing. Is kind of like a lot.
Aaron Sorkin, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Did you guys like The Newsroom?
I did not.
I have not watched it.
Molly really liked it, and she worked in newsrooms. And I'm not sure if she just was glamorizing it or something, because most people don't. But I liked it.
Well, my thing.
She loved it.
My thing, I think, was that that made the West Wing hard to get through was eventually there's only so much you can take of self-important old white guys talking about things and laying down their law. And then I guess the newsroom was just too much of that for me. So.
Yeah, but it's got Olivia Munn.
Yeah, she's not a real draw for me.
Yeah, not really a big draw for me either. But
although I will say the movie she was in, I think Just Friends or whatever it was, that was really good.
She's the superior Munn, or Olivia rather.
How many Munns are there?
Well, there's her and Wild.
I guess if those are the choices with my Olivias, I will take Munn, yes.
Yeah, she just seems more fun.
That's all right, fair enough. I'll give you that.
And I find her more attractive. But everybody loves Olivia Wilde. I don't know. But she's also, Jason Sudeikis' girlfriend right now.
Is she?
And I love him. Have you guys seen The Last Man on Earth?
I have not.
No.
Oh, get into it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Will Forte as the Last Man on Earth.
And Kristen Schaal is the last woman, I believe.
Yeah, well, when I started watching it, I read a review of the first 2 episodes that said, he's the last man on Earth. That's it. It never mentioned anybody else. So when she showed up, I was shocked.
Oh.
So that pulled me in right away. I was like, all right, this show's surprising me already.
Spoiler alert. But I've honestly heard more about her in it than I have him.
He's fantastic in it. And then a bunch of, a lot of stuff happens. It's very funny, and it's I don't know. I guess it would be like Curb Your Enthusiasm if Larry David was young and the last man on Earth. It's really uncomfortable. A lot of time. You know what I mean?
Neither of those things sound attractive with Larry David in the mix.
Yeah, well, it's he doesn't make the right choices ever, or
Sure.
when you think he is making the right choices, something that you can't see comes back and backfires. It's really almost hard to watch, but so well done.
All right.
Like The Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm, where
Sounds good.
the main guy is really awkward all the time.
I do want to mention, I'm not really good, especially when you break things down in genres, and I'm not big on making lists of anything, but I do want to mention what is possibly my favorite single episode of television over the last few years, if not all time. I think, Graham, you might back me up on this, I'm not sure. But there's a show called Review, and it stars Andy Daly as a gentleman whose job is he hosts a TV show that reviews life, and he'll get suggestions from his audience, his fan base, and then they'll say, "Hey, what about this thing?" And he'll be like, "Oh, that's a good point," and he'll go out and review it. He I think at one point reviews being Batman, so he buys a cosplay Batman costume. He goes out being Batman. He's like, you know what, this kind of sucks.
He did cocaine.
The episode in question that I want to talk about is the pancakes episode.
Yeah, that's kind of the big one. Yeah.
And spoiler alert. So if you have any, I'm going to tell you right now. This is the greatest episode of television possibly ever, in my opinion. So if you are interested in that, stop listening. Go watch it now. I believe it's available on Amazon, Amazon Prime, Amazon...
ComedyCentral.com.
Comedy Central, there you go. And they're, I believe, coming back for a second season, which is wonderful, wonderful news.
Yes.
But anyway, in the pancakes episode, Andy Daly, his character Forrest McNeil, he gets a question submitted, something along the lines of, "Hey, what's it like to eat 15 pancakes?" Like, well, I don't know. I've never eaten 15 pancakes. I better go out and find out and get back to you on that rating. So he goes out and he eats 15 pancakes, and he goes to a diner and they cover the table in pancakes, and he goes through them all slowly but surely, and he has to choke down that last bite because he's just eaten 15 fucking pancakes. And he gets back and he's like, you know what? That was awful. That was the worst. Eating 15 pancakes, like it's 1 star. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. And he makes a big deal about like he had to go through with it, even though he absolutely hated it and it was physically impossible, or nearly physically impossible anyway. But he's dedicated himself to, reviewing these things that people ask of him, so he has to do it. And then he gets the second question. "Hey, Forrest, what's it like to go through a divorce?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you know what? I guess I gotta review this." And he goes out and he's
super bummed about it the whole time.
He is not enjoying it, clearly. But he tells his wife he wants a divorce. And
he's got integrity. He's not going to say no to.
Yeah, he's a man of the people.
He's a man of his word.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's like, "You know what? Fuck you. Get out. This is my lawyer. We're going to be kind of flirty with each other." And he's like, "Okay, well, gotta do it for the show. Okay." And he goes back and he's like, "Hey, wouldn't recommend divorce at all. It's crushes your soul. Half a star," or something like that. And then he gets a third question. "Hey, Forrest, what's it like to eat 20 pancakes?" And he knows that it is 15 pancakes was so hard and so horrible.
Doesn't it end with him eating 20 pancakes and crying the whole time?
Well, he does go through with it because, like, you can just go through the emotions on his face. Like, I know there's no point in doing this. There's no good outcome to this. There's no real reason for me to do this, but
he's dedicated.
I just divorced my wife. How can I say no that I won't eat pancakes, and I can't say no that I won't divorce my wife? And it is just the greatest moment watching this internal struggle go through his mind on his face of what a fucking moron he is.
In one episode, yeah, it's pretty great.
So he goes out and he powers through those pancakes, and he gets that 15th pancake. He knows this pit of despair that he's found himself in. He's been here before, and he looks at those 5 pancakes and he's, you know what? I've been through this before. I can take this. I can handle these 5 pancakes. I'm going to fucking do this. Because life's what you make of it. And he goes back, you know what? Eating 20 pancakes, 5 fucking stars.
I'll tell you, I think Comedy Central is killing it the most right now as far as channels go.
I'm not big on channels, but I do have to say I definitely am very excited for what they have and what they have coming up.
I mean, review Nathan for You.
Oh,
Broad
absolutely,
City,
Nathan for You.
Inside Amy Schumer.
Broad City has and continues to be amazing.
Yeah. Inside Amy Schumer is fantastic.
I haven't watched that one at all, really.
My favorite stand-up comic right now writes for it too, Kurt Metzger. It's absolutely amazing. The season premiere was fantastic. They did a Friday Night Lights parody where it was like clear eyes, full hearts, don't rape. and it had Josh Charles playing Coach.
Oh wow!
And Amy playing Mrs. Coach, and every time they shot to her, she was drinking a bigger glass of wine until it was just like you couldn't reach your arms around the glass. Like
I have seen gifs of that.
Wonderful stuff. She's incredible, I think. That show. What else? They're killing. Actually, me and Molly are really into Big Time in Hollywood, Florida.
Haven't heard of that one.
That just came out a few weeks ago. There's no way for me to really explain it, but it's Ben Stiller is producing it. He was in the first episode. Michael Madsen's in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. just showed up, playing himself as a coked up crazy dude. It's really incredible.
Sounds like it.
No, it's fun, and it's not getting enough push, I think.
I'll have to check that out.
There's other, they still have, I really like The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore right now.
Haven't caught that yet, but
that's good. And Kurt Metzger is often on that because they do, a round table.
Sure.
It's, I don't know, they keep nailing it. I feel like Comedy Central, and I know I'm missing a few shows, but
yeah, I think they've really gotten in the groove of instead of there's so many good comedians, and instead of trying to put them all on the same track of making some canned sitcom about their life that centers in a living room and with his wife and kids and whatnot.
Yeah, they're just giving him shots to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, and that's working out so much better.
This new group of comedians, I think, especially, I feel, maybe I'm biased, but New York comedians are killing it. Like Hannibal,
absolutely,
his show. Kyle Kinane's the fucking voice of it, although I think he lives in L.A. now.
Yeah, I think he does.
So what have we learned this week in our discussion?
I'm gonna go with fuck 20 pancakes, knock that shit out of the park. Life is what you make of it.
What did I learn?
Life's too short to not spend it watching shows on your backlist.
Hey, life's pretty short.
Oh, I got my third one. Doctor Who.
All right.
And I got scared because just recently, the BBC was about to, shut down with Netflix. And I was like, fuck, I haven't even finished season 1. And then they finally met at a deal at the 11th hour. And so Doctor Who is still on Netflix. So that's my third answer for that backlist on Netflix.
All right, so we've also learned that the answer is in Doctor Who.
It isn't?
The answer to life is in Doctor Who.
No, the answer to life is watch TV, but also go outside sometimes.
Hey, it's 21st century. Watch TV on your phone outside.
Oh, no, I don't like to watch TV on my phone.
Oh, come on.
That's too small.
We had something here.
That's too small. My wife has a Kindle Fire. I'll watch TV on that, but that's as small as I'll go. I have a giant HD TV over here. I'm going to watch stuff over there.
Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
That's my band.
Yep.
All right, so we can be found on the internets, right, Griffin?
Yeah, we have now expanded ourselves. We have both a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and our... well, if you're listening to this, you've found our Podmatic page in some way.
Yep. We're also on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube?
We have a YouTube. We're going to have our on Twitter. And we're also on the Facebook. So we have many medias with which to...
at How About You Pod. give us any feedback, especially in regards to the art that I am trying to produce with mixed success.
Looks pretty good to me. I like it.
All right.
We have at least tens of people who've looked at it, right? At this point?
That's a safe estimate.
Ones? Ones of?
Ones to tens.
Ones to tens. All right.
All right. Well,
I would like to. Can I put a plug in?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to plug my Facebook page, Grandma of Crackers. It's okay.
Wait, is this just your personal Facebook page?
Yeah, just Grandma of Crackers.
You know, that's legitimate. I back you. Anybody who wants to befriend Graham, I can guarantee that you will not be disappointed.
No, it's okay. You might be a little disappointed.
Oh, if you're disappointed, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Not with Graham, with you.
You personally.
I don't know. I'm not great a lot of the time.
I think the times that you are more than make up for it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Drew, it was really cool to meet you.
Hey, you as well. We'll have to have you on back on again sometime.
Yeah, I'll come back anytime.
Thanks for joining us, Graham.
All right, take care, guys.
You too.
All right,
And
everyone.
listeners, have a good one.
Have a week.